Welcome back to the channel, my fellow Days of Our Lives addicts. We need to talk about the absolute nightmare unfolding on the streets of Salem right now. If you've been paying attention to the latest summer promos and spoilers, you already know that a terrifying tainted drug crisis is sweeping through the town. People are literally dropping dead, and nobody has a clue what is actually killing them. It is chaotic, it is heartbreaking, and it is about to blow up in everyone's faces. The first tragic victim was Destiny, who collapsed and died right in front of a horrified Sarah Horton. And let me tell you, this is not just some random public health PSA storyline. Oh no, this is a deeply sinister, multi-layered mystery that is going to shake the very foundation of Salem's medical and corporate elite. Let's be real for a second about Sarah Horton. My heart is just breaking for her. Linsey Godfrey is acting her absolute socks off right now. Sarah is completely traumatized by Destiny's death, and honestly, can you blame her? This is a woman who has suffered unimaginable grief in her past. We all remember the absolute agony she went through when she lost her baby, Mickey. Sarah does not handle death well, especially when it happens on her watch. Now, she is in full-blown panic mode, terrified that her medical license is going to be revoked because a patient died under her care from a mysterious substance. She is desperately trying to find the truth, and she has turned to Brady Black to help her investigate. I am so fiercely protective of Sarah right now. She is a brilliant doctor who takes the Hippocratic Oath incredibly seriously, and to see her career threatened by some shadowy drug ring is just infuriating. But here is the kicker, and it is a massive, jaw-dropping twist that I honestly did not see coming. Where are these drugs coming from? All roads are starting to point directly to the top of the food chain, EJ DiMera. Yes, you heard me right. Think about it for a second. EJ DiMera currently owns Salem University Hospital and the Tom Horton Free Clinic. That means EJ is the man writing the checks. He is the one ultimately responsible for stocking the hospital pharmacy and ensuring that the free clinic has enough medication to treat the vulnerable citizens of Salem. So, what happens if the hospital's supply chain is compromised? The spoilers are heavily hinting that EJ might be buying pharmaceuticals from the black market. Can you believe it? EJ DiMera, cutting corners and buying dirty drugs to stock a hospital. Why on earth would EJ do something so incredibly reckless and stupid? Well, let's unpack his psychology right now, because the man is drowning. EJ is under an unbelievable amount of pressure. He is getting massive corporate pushback at DiMera Enterprises because Tony is constantly changing his plans. He is trying to force Johnny to take over as COO, but Johnny is totally distracted by Chanel's devastating cancer diagnosis. And most importantly, EJ is secretly funding Dr. Wilhelm Rolf's insanely expensive, highly unethical resurrection experiments. We know Lexi Carver was brought back from the dead with Rolf's serum, and we also know that the serum is failing. Lexi is collapsing, and EJ needs an absolute fortune to keep Rolf's lab running to perfect his miracle drug. I think EJ is bleeding cash, and in his arrogant, narcissistic mind, he decided to slash the hospital's budget by purchasing cheap, black market medications. This move is just so classic DiMera. It actually makes me sick. A lot of fans think EJ has softened over the years, but I actually think he is becoming more and more like his father, Stefano DiMera, every single day. Stefano used to use Salem University Hospital as his own personal playground and front for his illegal activities all the time. Remember when Stefano had secret labs hidden right under the hospital? EJ is doing the exact same thing. He is desecrating a place of healing to line his own pockets and fund his mad science projects. EJ probably thought he was buying safe, generic drugs from a cheaper overseas supplier to cut overhead costs. He is arrogant enough to believe he could outsmart the system. But he got played, and now innocent people like Destiny are paying the ultimate price with their lives. And you won't believe what happens next if this theory holds true. Who exactly is selling these tainted drugs to EJ? There is a massive fan debate going on right now. Some people think it's just a random new cartel villain that the writers are introducing for the summer. But I actually think it's an inside job. What if someone is purposely sabotaging EJ? Think about his enemies. What if someone is intentionally disguising lethal, low-quality narcotics as safe, FDA-approved pharmaceuticals and selling them to the hospital supply chain just to frame EJ and destroy his empire? It could be a rival corporate entity, or even someone within his own family. We know Kristen DiMera is completely unhinged right now, desperately trying to scrape together enough cash to hire Xander as a hitman to take out Johnny. Would Kristen stoop so low as to run a black market drug ring right under EJ's nose? Absolutely. I am literally sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for Sarah Horton to connect the dots. Imagine the absolute explosion when Sarah realizes that the owner of the hospital is the one responsible for the tainted drugs. Sarah is a Horton. The Free Clinic is literally named after her great-grandfather, Tom Horton. Tom Horton was the moral pillar of Salem, a man who dedicated his entire life to healing the sick and helping the poor. The idea that EJ DiMera is using Tom Horton's name as a front to push cheap, deadly, black market pills is going to send Sarah into a blind rage. I desperately need a scene where Sarah storms into EJ's office, slams her hands on his desk, and just verbally eviscerates him. She is going to hold him personally accountable for Destiny's death, and I will be cheering her on the entire time. Let's talk about the legal fallout, because if these deaths are traced back to the hospital pharmacy, EJ is completely ruined. Will EJ be held responsible? Legally, yes. If he bypassed standard medical supply chains to purchase unregulated drugs, he is on the hook for massive malpractice and wrongful death lawsuits. The parents of the victims are going to sue the hospital into oblivion. And honestly, I think this is going to be the catalyst for EJ losing control of DiMera Enterprises entirely. The board of directors will have a field day with this scandal. EJ's absolute worst fear is losing his power, and his own greed is going to be the exact thing that strips it away from him. It is poetic justice, and I am so here for his downfall. And we cannot ignore how this ties into the messy romantic dynamics right now. Sarah has enlisted Brady Black to help her investigate the drug ring. Brady has his own history with addiction, so he knows the dark underbelly of Salem better than anyone. This investigation is absolutely going to bond Sarah and Brady closer together. But at the same time, Xander Cook Kyriakis is the one actually living with Sarah, comforting her when she comes home crying over her dead patient. Xander used to be a ruthless criminal. He knows how the black market operates. I have a strong feeling that Xander is going to use his old underworld contacts to figure out where the tainted drugs are coming from before Brady does. It is going to be a race against time and a massive competition between Xander and Brady to see who can be Sarah's knight in shining armor. Ultimately, this storyline is a brilliant collision of medical drama, corporate espionage, and legacy family feuds. The writers are weaving together the Horton family honor, the DiMera family corruption, and the tragic reality of street drugs in a way that feels incredibly high stakes. I am terrified for Sarah's medical license, but I am also thrilled to see EJ finally face some real consequences for playing God with people's lives. You cannot just buy cheap drugs from shady dealers and expect everything to be fine. EJ's arrogance has finally caught up with him, and the blood is on his hands. I am typing furiously just thinking about all the ways this could explode. What do you guys think? Is EJ fully aware that the drugs are tainted, or is he just a greedy CEO who got scammed by a black market supplier? Do you think Sarah will be the one to expose him, or will Xander beat her to the punch? And seriously, how much longer can EJ keep Dr. Rolf's failing resurrection experiments a secret while his hospital is literally crumbling around him? Drop your thoughts, your wild fan theories, and your rants in the comments below, because I need to know I am not the only one obsessing over this. Salem is about to go up in flames, and I cannot wait to watch it burn.